Hi, I'm Mark Csordos, the laundromat entrepreneur and owner of the Washing Well Laundromat in Aberdeen, New Jersey. And today I want to talk to you about commonly asked questions that I get. So the first one is, how much does it cost to start a laundromat from scratch, and how long does it take to break even? Well, it's going to vary depending on what part of the country you're in, but the general rule of thumb is that from the shovel in the ground until you can put the key in the door, and that means all the equipment, permits, everything that you would possibly need to open a laundromat, it's about $300 to $400 per square foot. So a 2,500 square foot laundromat is going to cost you about $1 million. I've seen laundromats that have been about as much as $3 to $4 million to open. So it can be quite expensive to open one from scratch. So you really need to know what you're doing. And the rule of thumb also, it takes about 6 to 15 months to break even. And that seems like a big difference there, 6 months to over a year. But there's so many variables that go into it. It's hard to just give a concrete number. You are going to be losing money in the very beginning. Doesn't mean you won't have a great store a year from now or 2 years from now. But in the beginning, it does take a little while to ramp up and to make as much money as you need to make a profit. Don't forget, if you buy an established laundromat, you already have a clientele. So the day after you sign the contract, all those people coming in that are already regulars, they're now your customers. When you open a laundromat, build one from scratch, you don't have any customer base. You have to draw those people in. So that takes a while for it to get going. Is owning a laundromat profitable? Well, the typical return on investment is 20 to 35%. So that's pretty good. And I always compare it to another popular industry, the restaurant industry, where the return on investment is about 10 to 11%. This is where some people make a mistake and they think, well, if I buy a laundromat, it's automatically going to be profitable. No, you still have to run a good business. The 20 to 35% is just an industry range. It doesn't mean you're automatically going to fall in that range. You know, for example, baseball has 30 major league teams. Most of them make money, but it doesn't mean they all make money or that they make the same amount of money. I'm looking at you, Miami Marlins.
What did I do?
So just because you open a laundromat doesn't mean you're automatically going to make 20 to 35%. You have to put the work in to do that. But laundromats, yes, they can be profitable. How can I finance a laundromat? Well, there's several different ways. One is your traditional SBA loan or a bank loan. You can borrow money from family and friends and use your own money. One way that's not often thought about is owner financing, where the owner holds a note and you pay the owner back. So let's just say, for real easy numbers, the laundromat is selling for $100,000 and you don't have $100,000. So maybe the owner will hold a note for $50,000. Okay, so on the day of the closing, you give them $50,000 and you sign a note that says, I owe you $50,000. That'll be paid, and this is whatever you negotiate, but let's say it'll be paid monthly over 2 years with interest. And a lot more deals are done with owner financing than people realize. You might use a combination of all three of these. So you might have an SBA loan or a bank loan. You might take some of your own money, and you might have owner financing. So when I bought my laundromat, I used all three. I put some of my own cash in, I got a small bank loan, and I also used owner financing. What permits and licenses are required? When you buy one that's already established, you don't have to worry about permits and licenses. I do get the fire inspector come in every year, and also weights and measures. They check the machines to make sure that the amount of time on the dryers is what you're actually getting as opposed to what I advertise. So we do 6 minutes for a quarter. They run each machine and make sure that you get your full 6 minutes for that quarter. Now, if you're going to build a store from scratch, well, that really depends on the township. And every township is different, so I can't give you an exact answer on that. And also, what those permits will cost is different amongst every township. Before you start planning the laundromat, the first thing that I would do is go to the township and say, okay, this is what I plan on doing. How much are you going to charge me? What do I need from you? How much should I expect to pay for water, gas, and electricity? That's a good question. So between 20 to 25% of your gross revenue, you should expect to pay for water, gas, and electricity. Now, that number can get much lower if you have newer equipment. My equipment's a bit on the older side, and in a couple years, I will need a retool. And then I will probably see those numbers drastically go down because the newer equipment, it's frankly just better. It just keeps getting better and better with every generation of equipment they put out. So that number that you would need to do the same amount of laundry that you did the previous year with new equipment will be much less. But a general rule of thumb is 20 to 25% of gross sales. And if you can get it below that, that's fantastic. What are the trends in the laundromat industry? Well, a couple of trends are bigger machines. So they're going away from a lot of the 20 and 30 pounder machines, getting into the 60, 80, 100, if not even bigger machines. So that's one of the trends. Another trend is technology, your POS system. I happen to use Sense for my POS system, but there are several companies out there. And this allows me to run my entire business from the cash register. Pickup and delivery. So a lot of customers that own a washer and a dryer are still your prospective customers because you're able to go to their house, pick up their laundry, and deliver it back to them. They never have to touch it. So think about the family with 3 kids and each kid's involved in a sport or activity. Mom and dad both work. And on Saturday, there's 5 loads of laundry and 3 kids events. That's the kind of customer that will do the pickup and delivery. Okay. It's not just that type of customer. We have senior citizens that can't get out, that can't get around. We have people that just frankly don't like doing laundry. So the big trend with pickup and delivery is that now everybody is a possible customer. Before, you wanted to put your laundromat by an apartment complex, but now that's not as important. I mean, if you can, that's great, but it's not as important because now with pickup and delivery, everybody is a potential customer. How do I handle competition from other laundromats? Well, I guess the question you have to ask yourself is, what is your unique selling position? What makes you different? It could be that you have new machines. It could be that you have a better location. It could be that you have friendlier service. The one place that I would not compete with is on price, because price is just a race to the bottom. Okay, what you want to do is like, okay, what can I do that's better than my competition that are going to bring people in? And if they have to pay an extra 25, 50 cents for a load or a wash, it doesn't matter to them. Because I have A, nicer machines than they do. I have a B, safer, cleaner store than they do. I have parking where it's easier to get in or out of. My staff is much friendlier. You get greeted when you come in. We say goodbye when you leave. If you have a question, there's somebody there that wants to help you. And last question, what should I look for when hiring an employee? Well, the first thing that I would look for is friendly. And then the second thing that I would look for is that they're reliable. Because really, we can teach you anything else. You can teach somebody how to use a cash register. You can teach somebody how to fold. Even I learned how to fold, okay? So you can teach anybody that, but you can't teach everybody to be friendly. Some people just aren't friendly, and that's not who I want interacting with my customers. You're probably only gonna have 1 employee scheduled per shift, unless you're a really large laundromat. Okay, so do you want that 1 person in there for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours and not being friendly to the customers? No, That's not what I want. And also, I want them to be reliable. Because again, if you're only going to have one person on a shift, if you're going to call out an hour before that shift, that really makes my life miserable. I had an employee like that. I mean, she must have called out like 8 shifts out of like 10 in one stretch. So you're constantly scrambling to either A, man the store yourself, which is not why I bought the store, to be a folder. Or B, you're trying to get another employee like, hey, are you not busy? Can you go in there tonight? I really appreciate the help. So those are some common questions that I get about laundromats. If you have any more, please feel free to send them in the comments section and I will try to answer them in another video. If you enjoyed this video, I do a lot on entrepreneurship and laundromats. Please like this video and also subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.